Hello, and welcome to Animal Chiropractic Clinic Chatter, a podcast where Dr. O from All Creatures Every Spine interviews doctors and animal owners that utilize animal chiropractic to get their unique perspectives. Yes, it's really a thing. Dr. O utilizes his 30 years of experience as both an animal chiropractor and veterinarian, and to dig deep into the discussion of complex issues affecting the lives of your animal friends and companions. Join us for this educational episode. Thanks for joining us for this portion of the episode as Dr. O begins to answer the question, what is animal chiropractic? He will look at how the chiropractic adjustment is a valuable and viable treatment for what ails your animals.
So animal chiropractic, and how often do we need to see your dog or your horse? Let's just think about a rocket that's going to take off and exit orbit. And it uses a lot of energy and a lot of fuel right at the beginning to get outside of the orbit. And it takes more energy to do that. So it's kind of like your animal's chiropractic care. It's going to take a lot of adjustments, a lot of energy on your part to do some rehab, to do some stuff like that, in order to get your animal enough energy, your pet enough healing energy, and in the right places to help him get into orbit. So that once we get into orbit, it doesn't take very much fuel to stay in orbit. So just some monthly maintenance after that, maybe even a couple months. But at the beginning, we're going to need to see your pet maybe once a week, maybe a couple times a week, depending on how sick they are. Why does your animal need to keep getting readjusted? Well, it's kind of like a chain. The chain doesn't fail at the strongest point. It always fails at the weakest point. And the weakest point of your animal's spine is that one that has been subluxated for the longest period of time. It's going to take a long time for that chain, that area, to get strengthened up and to where the body gets used to holding it in the correct position. The body does this amazing things with vertebral subluxations in that it compensates for them, and it makes it so that there is no pain there. The body helps with that, and so that way we don't have to walk around all the time crunched over, or all the time your dog is in pain in the middle of his back. Doesn't mean that there's not subluxations there. It means that the body's compensated for it. Doesn't mean that things are working up to potential underneath that subluxation. It just means that, hey, we've got some problems. So we've got to strengthen the weak links. We've got to strengthen the muscles around that area. We've got to get those areas of transition to move better and to be the way they're supposed to work, so that your animal can experience its optimum potential all the time. And then we're going to check those weak links and make sure they stay adjusted, make sure they stay moving properly, so that your animal is the animal that you want him to be.
Make sure to visit our website, allcreatureseveryspine.com, where you can subscribe to the show and learn more about getting your animals adjusted. If you are in the Meridian, Texas area, drop in on a Tuesday afternoon to get your animals adjusted. If that isn't possible, schedule a consultation on your animal's health with Dr. O. You can also purchase a copy of Dr. O's book. Yes, it's really a thing.
Standard Process is a third-generation family-owned company in rural Wisconsin. You could say we just make nutritional supplements, but we know we're changing lives. We grow ingredients on our own certified organic farm without pesticides or herbicides because we think they should be as close to nature as possible. quality is our priority. That's why we do everything right here, from hand-picking the seeds to delivery, so you know exactly what goes into every bottle.
Your active dog needs more than water to rehydrate. Replenish Dog Water Supplement is an all-natural powdered water flavoring, prevents dehydration and provides vitamins for your dog. Created by a veterinarian and rooted in science. Give your dog the care they deserve with Replenish.
Helping others experience an abundant life with the gift, art, and blessing that is animal chiropractic is our sole mission at All Creatures Every Spine. It's what we do. It's what we love. It truly is what keeps us motivated to help people just like you. I truly love the art of chiropractic. It drives me to provide the highest level of chiropractic possible. And as fellow chiropractic business owners, it's that love that drives us to become better. However, the reality is that sometimes running a successful business can be challenging. Sometimes there can be obstacles to overcome. We all know the old saying, if it were easy, everyone would do it. Well, one thing that is really easy is marketing our clinic with a professional animal chiropractic website by the Chiro Website Pro, Tony Seymour. He's a professional web designer, and his team at Chiro Website Pro take good care of us. They simply make marketing our practice 100% hassle-free. If you're looking for the #1 hands-free way to market your practice, give the Chiro Website Pro a call at 423-779-4630 or simply visit www.chirowebsitepro.com and make sure you ask them about the special ACES discount and let them know Dr. Amy and Dr. O sent you. You'll be glad.
Join us as Dr. O interviews a certified chiropractor, veterinarian, or an animal owner. These enthusiastic people explain how they utilize animal chiropractic to alter the lives of the animals in their communities.
Hey, welcome everybody to another episode of Animal Chiropractic Clinic Chatter. I'm your host, Dr. O. Today, we are here with the beautiful Dr. Danielle. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hi, guys. So I'm Dr. Danielle Barron. I am currently located in Atlanta, Georgia. So I graduated chiropractic school 5 years ago. I went to Parker University. So while I was at Parker, I met Dr. O and Dr. Amy, and I decided to take their animal chiropractic course through them while I was in school. So graduating, I was certified for human chiropractic and animal chiropractic. Post-school, I moved up to East Tennessee, where I had the opportunity to practice for 5 years. Just tons of great experiences, mostly working at a human clinic, but also getting a lot of hands-on experience with animal chiropractic and growing and cultivating that as well.
Cool. So how'd your ACEs go? Are you glad that you were ACEs? Yeah.
Great experience, yeah. Learned a lot, like so much hands-on experience, just real life, and felt really comfortable and confident post to be able to work on animals.
Are you glad you did it during school, or would you have rather waited?
So glad I did it during school, because after school, I didn't want anything to do with school. Needed a break.
So you would recommend any students that are thinking about animal chiropractic do it while they're still in school?
Definitely.
Yeah.
And the online option was great. So you work at your own pace, and then just 3, hands-on. So it helps save your time. Felt prepared for boards. It was no problem at all.
Cool. All right. So what has animal chiropractic done for Dr. Barron? What has it allowed you to do?
Well, I have a really cool story with animal chiropractic because it's really kind of what got me into chiropractic. So if I go way back, I grew up with horses, horse girl, avid barrel racer, and a rodeo girl. My horses, when I was a teenager, always had a chiropractor, So she would come out every month, every 6 weeks. I always had my horses worked on. I really didn't understand what it did at the time. I just know, that they felt better and they performed better. So no brainer. So it was actually her, my animal chiropractor, who kind of talked to me about chiropractic. I was having some headaches and issues. She told me to go see a chiropractor. So then after my horses were getting care, I got care myself. There still wasn't a connection ever at that point of, oh, I want to be a chiropractor. I didn't know what I wanted to do. Thought teacher for a while, speech language pathologist. None of it resonated. So my parents finally said, just do what you're passionate about. You'll figure it out. So long story short, I grew up in Northern Michigan, but then I did my undergrad at Murray State in Murray, Kentucky. So I went down there. I got a Bachelor of Science in Agriculture, was on the rodeo team. Actually, long story short, but I was going through like emotionally a rough time, and Parker University, where I went to chiropractic school, they were coming up to speak to the agriculture department about animal chiropractic. My grandma had passed. I was there. I wasn't in a great place. My friend's like, please go, let's go listen. I was just not really drawn. She's like, it's human chiropractic. I was hesitant, but she drugged me out. Anyway, I sat in that room. There's a handful of times I can really say like I felt the presence of God, or it's told me what to do. And I just remember sitting in that room going, oh my gosh, like this is what I'm supposed to do. Sign me up. How do I go? I literally called Parker University the next day, went to their, meet and greet program, went down there, signed up, said yes, and then I never looked back. So I was going to go to their animal chiropractic program, but then I met you all. Well, it was a blessing as well. You're where you're supposed to be for a reason. And that's actually how I met the doctor that I practiced with for 5 years as well. So just cool, kind of full circle. So animal chiropractic really is what got me into chiropractic, and has really continued to bless me.
Cool. So and everybody gets into chiropractic and animal chiropractic for a different reason. And so it was a veterinarian that was your animal chiropractor versus a human chiropractor that was an animal chiropractor.
She was a human chiropractor as well, actually.
Oh, so she did adjust you. It sounded like she sent you something.
No, she referred. She just didn't work on people, but she was a human chiropractor.
Oh, okay. She just didn't work on people. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. So everybody, yeah. Well, at least he talked about it. I blame 17 chiropractors, for Riley being the way he was, because they didn't talk to me about it. The 17 in our hometown. So, chiropractors, you got to speak up or nobody knows about you.
Very true.
So anyway, what's your biggest win so far with animal chiropractic?
Oh, wow. Let's see. So at the clinic I was in, people brought a lot of dogs in, and mostly it was very severe cases. So a lot of dogs who had lost control of their hind limbs, basically either it was spinal cord injuries or disc injuries. So we had so many dogs carried in. I can't tell you how many, more than I can count on my hands. Carried in, first adjustment, walked out, just miracles, one after another after another. We even saved, probably the biggest win was a small, well, it was small at the time. It was a Rottweiler puppy, and had an injury to his hind leg, a disc injury, and then something else. And then they were talking about potentially amputating the leg.
Oh, wow.
Few adjustments. And then he had a wound as well. So we had a cold laser. We did laser therapy on it as well. And we saved the limb. They said it was a miracle, of course.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Oh, well, it would have got better anyway, right?
Yeah, right. It would have fixed itself.
Yeah. Well, fixing itself and getting better anyway are two different things, because, the body does fix itself.
Well, absolutely.
We just have to stay out of its way. Sometimes give it a little help, but most of the time we really just need to stay out of its way. And which is hard for healers, because there's a lot of times where you want to adjust one more vertebra, or, adjust that one vertebra a little harder. I don't know if it's better or not. Maybe I should just, instead of rechecking it, I'm just going to adjust it again, or, and I know that's tough, especially like in class when a lot of these people adjust their first animal, they're like, and they'll be like, oh, I didn't move anything. And they'll go line up to do it. No, check it first.
Yeah.
And they're like, but I didn't check it. How do you know you didn't? And they're like, wow, I made a difference. Yeah.
Less is best for sure.
Yeah, less is best. It doesn't take a big sledgehammer, you know. People. It's funny. People with little dogs will come in and want Dr. Amy to work on them, and people with horses will want me to work on them. And I'm like, that's probably backwards, because I do more dogs than she does, and so I'm going to be really gentle. And she does more horses than I do, and even though I'm bigger than she does, she knows the right amount of force to use on a horse.
Absolutely.
So, it doesn't take a lot. And that's what's so amazing about chiropractic. And it's not miracles. It's just chiropractic.
Take away the interference and let the body heal.
Yeah. Yep. Which is the cool part about chiropractic. It's just because you see stuff every day and people are like, oh my God, that's so cool. And we're like, okay.
That's what it is.
All right. And it's like, not everybody knows about chiropractic.
No.
And like my 19-year-old son, he's been getting adjusted since he was born. And it's not uncommon for him to be like, I don't know if I can wait till Wednesday or not to go see the chiropractor. Maybe I should go see him today. And we're like, okay.
Connected in tune with his body.
Yeah. And then like our we had one of our students donate a drop table.
Oh wow.
I don't know if that was when you were here or not, if we had it. So now in our living room we actually have a drop table.
Very cool.
And so that is located in whatever state your mind is.
Yes. It's very true.
And Laura, our housekeeper, had never been adjusted before. And one of our perks is we send everybody to get adjusted at our chiropractor, who adjusts full body, but for sure does upper cervicals, because we've had some problems with people not getting their atlas adjusted when they went to the chiropractor. And I didn't even know that was a thing. But it is. So yes. So we pay for one visit at our chiropractor. And if you're an employer listening to this, that, $40, $50, $60 a month per employee pays back.
Put a value on that.
Yeah. Pays back. We don't have as much sick leave. We don't have as much, oh, I can't work today. I have a headache. Yes, more production days. So, but anyway, Laura will be like, are there any chiropractors coming this weekend? And we're like, well, maybe. She goes like, who should I ask? Who should I talk to? Like, it's up to you, So anyway, but yes, it's huge to get adjustment. And once you see and feel the power of the adjustment, I feel sorry for chiropractors that live in communities where there's not a chiropractor close to them.
Right. Yeah. It's not a problem in Atlanta, at least.
Yes, because I know a few chiropractors that know the power, but don't have anybody that can adjust them. And that would be, I think, just terrible,
Absolutely.
But anyway, so cool. Biggest win. So what do you wish everybody knew about animal chiropractic?
I mean, just chiropractic in general, kind of as we talked, the power of it, and it is about musculoskeletal and aches and pains. And I think, that's what it's most commonly accepted for, but it's so much more than that. It helps your body heal itself. It helps your immune system. It helps your sleep. It helps reduce stress. I mean, so a big win with a horse was literally there was someone that's reached out to us because they were having trouble with ulcers and they were doing some treatment, but then they had heard about maybe chiropractic could help, and I truly believe this horse recovered and got so much better faster because its body was in alignment. Mm-hmm. And, it's so much more than just pain relief or symptom management. It's a way of life. It's a wellness choice. And it's the same thing with our animals.
You bet. I was reading a paper the other day, and it talked about how white noise in the background of your brain, and we think of that as annoying, but it was pointing out that this white noise is all the functions that happen back there.
Yeah.
And so look at your finger, everybody, whether you're Dr. Danielle or me, or look at your finger, and the middle cell right there needs to go to the bathroom. And so you tell that cell to go to the bathroom, and it's got to get all that waste material down your hand, up your arm, and into your gallbladder so that you can go to the bathroom next time. All right? How long did that take? There's 32 trillion cells in your body. If you had to do every one, I think that if I'm get good at it, I could probably do 10 cells a second. Does that sound fair?
Yeah.
All right. I'm 63 years old. I'm just going to be ready to tell that cell for the third time he can go, because it would take me 32 years to tell every cell in my body just to eat, drink, and be happy.
Yeah, and that's one function.
One time. So I'm getting close to the third time around. I think we'd be having some serious problems if that didn't all happen automatically.
Absolutely.
And
that's what I always try to explain chiropractic, because what is it? It's a breaker box. Our nervous system is, if the breaker to your fridge is tripped in your house, your fridge isn't going to work. Well, if the breaker to your heart's tripped, is your heart going to function optimally, or the gut?
Yeah.
So remove the interference and truly allow the body to heal itself.
Yeah. Well, we could do a drug and then you get all the side effects, but that's okay, because we'll just throw another drug and then another one, and pretty soon you're on 14 different drugs, and I can't feel my feet, but that's okay, right?
Oh, yeah, it's normal.
Normal.
No, I think really, if I think about the wins too, human and animal, my most favorite thing about what I do is just empowering people and educating. It's like when you see that light go off in a patient or a client's head about, oh, this is how it works. And then they start looking and thinking and seeing for themselves. Like, I don't want to take all these prescription drugs. I don't want my dogs to have to be on all this, looking at lifestyle, at diet, that's truly the whole picture coming together that makes me love what I do.
Yeah, it is. And then you're successful when, how'd you hear about me? Well, I was at the dog park and this lady looked at my dog and said, you need to take your dog to the chiropractor because his hips are unlevel and he can't turn to the right. And oh, you are listening to what I'm saying.
Yes. Yeah. It's the aha.
Because, sometimes you talk to people, whether it be a human about their pet or a human about their self, and they're going, and they should be going, no, I don't understand.
Right.
So that's one thing I would say is, if you're with a chiropractor and you don't understand what they're telling you, ask questions.
Absolutely.
That's
one of the biggest things to run is people get intimidated or they feel nervous or anxious and they think there's no dumb question, and it's not, medicine is more well known, unfortunately, than holistic and alternative ways. So if you don't ask, if you're not your own advocate and researching, then you don't know. So always ask.
Yeah. So I have to call some students when they get home this weekend. We just graduated another batch of students, and it was the first time in 7 years that they brought their own bail boxes. And I'm like, why did you do that? And they said, well, because the internet said you sent us an email that said we had to. And I'm like, either that email has been misread this time or it's been misread for 7 years, and I'm taking nothing for granted.
Right? Yeah.
Oh, I need to go read that email again and see what it really says, because it's been there. And why did they, if it's written the way I thought it was written, why did they misinterpret it? Why did somebody misinterpret it? So there must be some blocking communication there somewhere that we need to remove.
Yes.
So, all right. What else? So you recently moved and you're looking for, you're available to help animals in Atlanta.
Yes. So I'm on a new adventure per se. So I've made the decision to start my own virtual practice. So through that, I'm going to be working with people, but doing functional medicine type work and lifestyle and kind of wellness coaching, and I'll create some programs. And then the other flip side of that is I am starting to grow my animal chiropractic business. So I already have a few clients. I'm willing to travel. And then even, obviously work around the Atlanta area and maybe reach out to some holistic veterinarians and see what the interest is and all of that. And I mean, animal chiropractic is so great because it allows you to be flexible. So if you notice what I'm doing, there's no overhead. You're not stuck in brick and mortar, this set schedule. Like, it gives you freedom, which I love, and, allows you to be flexible and just also make a bigger difference, I think.
Right. And in the one thing that I think you'll probably maybe change, are you still going to barrel race some?
Not at the moment, but you never know.
You may not want the barrel racing community to know that you're an animal chiropractor.
Right.
And we laugh when we say that, but as veterinarians and animal caretakers, sometimes our hobby gets to become our business.
Yes.
And
the separation is good.
Yeah. We have I know a doctor in Colorado that's sports medicine, board certified, canine chiropractic, and she jousts.
Yeah.
And the people at her horse barn don't even know she's a veterinarian.
I don't blame her.
Because she goes there to relax.
Yes.
To enjoy.
Exactly.
So anyway, all right. How do they get a hold of you if they want to? They're in the Atlanta area, within a couple hours of Atlanta, and they're like, I need my dog adjusted, or I need my horse adjusted.
Absolutely. So I'm working on getting up a website and really putting that together. Right now, I'm available I'll give you my cell phone number and also email, whatever you're more comfortable with. So cell phone is 423-371-1941. And then my email is Danielle at Dr. Danielle Barron, which is BARRON.com.
All right. And I'm sure the crew will put that down in the blog for sure. So you guys can find that. And remember, the body heals one way and one way only: above, down, inside out. Keep your atlas adjusted.
Absolutely.
If you are or know a veterinarian or chiropractor, or a student of either of these professions, visit our website, Animal Chiropractic Education Source, to see how to become certified in animal chiropractic. Start improving the lives of the animals around you. Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to subscribe to the ACES channels so that you never miss an exciting episode.